So I'd like to call this meeting to order. We rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for prayer. Mr. Gomez, will you lead us in the prayer?
Lord, bless us all who are here present today. Guide us in making responsible decisions for our veterans in our community. We ask you this through your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Please be seated. Marcia, can we have roll call, please?
Yes, sir. American Legion Post 59.
Present.
Catholic War Veterans. Disabled American Veterans.
Present.
Korean War Veterans.
Here.
Laredo Veterans Coalition. LULAC Veterans 777.
Present.
Marine Corps League. South Texas, Afghanistan, and Iraqi Veterans. Valor.
Here.
Veterans of Foreign Wars.
Here.
Webb County Service Office. David or Mr. Dueñas, was someone gonna make it? You'll represent?
I'll represent Webb County Veteran Service Office. Francis Dueñas is no longer with the office, and Mr. Garza had to go across the street to Commissioner's Court, sir.
So you'll be the attorney.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, you do have a form.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to have a motion to approve the minutes as presented, with any corrections, additions, or deletions.
I'll make a motion.
So moved by Mr. Lopez, second by Mr. Sanchez. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes has it unanimously. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, we have the item that we have comments from the citizens. Do we have anybody that signed up, Marshall?
No, sir, there's some that are gonna do announcements
Okay.
further down the agenda.
All right, very good. So we've got a short agenda, and we're gonna go to the next item, communications and announcements. Ms. Bazan?
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Julie Basan, for the record, member of the LULAC Veterans Council 777, Executive Director of the Area Health Education Center. And I'm here this morning to invite all veterans, families in the community to our Red, White, and Blue Mass that is scheduled for Thursday, November the 11th at St. Peter's Church. And I handed out a flyer to everyone, so if you can join us and get the word out. And this Mass is for the purposes of praying for the veterans, their families, and our community. So we really invite everyone to join us and bless our community. That's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Bazan.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Mr. Lopez?
Yeah, yes, sir. Gabriel Lopez Taiba. Just want to introduce a couple of concepts that I'll be given to the marshal so that it can be added to the next agenda, and just the concepts to see which way we will go with the OEF monument. Can I turn this on?
There you go, you got it.
Face down, right?
No, you had it right.
Okay. So this is one concept.
There you go.
There you go. And basically, what it will be like, or it will have this, but it's four sides. It will be big enough, and on one side it will have Operation Iraqi Freedom, and it will have the names and the dates. On the other side, the opposing side, it will have Operation Enduring Freedom with the dates and the KIA. And then on the third side, if we can have all the emblems of all the branches. And on the fourth side, the City of Laredo emblem with the message from the city to the veterans. That will be one concept that I will bring forward to vote. And then the other concept will be similar to this, but of course, we will need the dimensions, and it will be Iraq and Afghanistan. It will be one solid monument. This was with the help of Mr. Sanchez, who drew it. So it will be a little bit rectangular upwards, smaller than this, but it will have all the information there. And we have an estimate roughly about $2,000 on this concept. On concept number one, we don't have any information yet. But once we move forward with this, then we can definitely get some numbers on it and get the true dimensions of what we need. That's all I have, Chairman.
Well, thank you, and let me just say that as a Vietnam veteran, and I think all veterans from other eras will defer to the young warriors that served during that time to make a recommendation, and I'm sure we'll follow that recommendation because it was your time, and you need to be recognized the way you like to be recognized. But we'll put it out for a vote, but I believe that's the way it's gonna go, and that's the way it should go, in my opinion. For the record, Marshal, we have added 2 more members.
Yes, sir, Mr. Garza and Mr. Alvarez. Mr. Lopez, this is still proposed for the cemetery, or you have a different location?
No, that would be at the Veterans Plaza.
Veterans Place.
Any other comments or discussions on the communications?
I have an announcement, if we're done. Just to let you guys know, Mr. Sanchez brought up about the walkway, Mr. Sanchez. I don't know if you've been able to see it?
Yes.
You did? Okay, Mr. Ophilan and Coach Gomez. They did a real good job.
They did a beautiful job.
Okay, whenever the Gold Star Mother monument that was put up, it didn't have, did you see it, Mr. Quijano? Okay.
That's on the screen, minutes.
Okay,
Extended chain and the walkway.
yes, sir. Just to let everyone know about that. And another announcement, Mr. Chair, on the 15th City Council meeting, the 15th, which is the next one, Ms. Perez, right? The next one? There's gonna be, Dr. Martinez had an agenda item many months ago to recognize our cities as something that's called the Purple Heart City. It was approved by council. The date that the commander is coming from Corpus, the Purple Heart commander is coming from Corpus, is the same day. And I would ask any Purple Heart recipients, which I know you, Mr. Salazar, okay, Mr. Vela, anyone else, or you too, Mr. Garza, okay. Anyone, we would like to be here when they come over and present us with that recognition for our city, which is the 15th, about 5:30. 5:30, I believe it's a recognition, right, Ms.? Okay. So I know that didn't come through our committee, it came directly from a council member, but just to let you know that we're all invited to be here.
Thank you, Marshal. Next item on the agenda, we have discussion with possible action to recruit unregistered veterans into the VA system and any matters incident thereto. This is a subject that we've been discussing now for several meetings and we'll probably discuss it from now till the end of time because we can never stop trying to recruit more veterans into our system. Do we have anybody that's gonna speak on this?
Mr. Contreras.
Good morning, Ruben Contreras, Disabled American Veterans. I would like to speak a little about the continuing services and resources at the VA clinic. For years, we have felt that we are undercounted, and according to them, lack of numbers equals to a lack of services and resources. I would like for us as a committee to embark in a recruiting campaign to bring in more veterans from our area and the surrounding areas to increase the numbers and hopefully bring in more resources. I plan to do, or we should plan to do, public service announcements in English and Spanish, create some posters that we can place at the Laredo College Veterans Office, TAMIU Veterans Office, Workforce Solutions at the Armory, and places where veterans hang out. I think all of this will be a win-win situation for all of us because as we know, it's always very hard to maintain the staff that comes to Laredo. Now, how do we plan to do this? We plan to use two offices, two local offices here. I have spoken to both places and they're in agreement and they're okay with it. Office number one would be the Webb County Veterans Office under Mr. David Garza. Office number two would be the Laredo Veterans Center under Angie Garza at Medical Plaza on McPherson. These two offices are authorized to register veterans for benefits or claims that they think they are entitled to. And they have the personnel to answer the phones and to speak to someone who comes in if someone does come in to ask for benefits or has questions. Now, I do plan to advise the VA clinic about our campaign. They may want to join us, they may not, but honestly, they are not geared to what we want to do here. You call the VA office or the VA clinic, first thing you get is, if this is an emergency, and then the second thing is if you're thinking of suicide, and then press 1 and press 2 and press 3. So they're really not geared to, helping us recruit more veterans into our system. But professional courtesy dictates that we notify them, and they may want to be on the list, they may not, but we still have to notify them so they won't be blindsided. Now, in our message, we know that we have a lot of veterans who do not want anything to do with the VA or the federal government. So our message has to be targeted to not only them, but the spouses and the children. In many instances, they are the primary caretakers. So it would behoove us to bring them in or include them in our message. Maybe they can convince the veterans to come in or as primary caretakers come in themselves, and they may be entitled to some benefits. I'm hoping that the city or the county may have a video department so we can do our public service announcements and our posters. If not, well, we'll have to figure that out. But I think that we have talked long enough about how undercounted we are, and we should make an effort to start bringing these people in and get an accurate number of just how many veterans we do have around these areas. Second item I have is Thursday is Veterans Day. Golden Corral, in coordination with the DAV, will have its Veterans Appreciation Day at the Golden Corral restaurant from 5 to 9. So everyone's invited. I am open to ideas, suggestions, and questions, and I yield back the floor. Thank you very much.
Chairman, on the last meeting, we had talked about this and I had spoken with Mr. Contreras and Mr. Alvarez before on this. So I told him told y'all that I would do a little bit of research. So obviously the two places, and the answer was yes, he's correct. He did reach out to me a while back to see if we can receive the documents, and the answer is yes. And Kike or Ms. Garza at the vet center, who's the actual person in charge, will also be so kind and be able to do that. So if we want to maximize the most veterans that we can register, we got to think outside the box a little bit. These are my suggestions that I had come up with while processing, how do we make this better, right? So any organization, veterans organization, can pick up the DD 214s. Then I think to myself, okay, well, if they do that, they're going to say, oh, well, they're going to try to recruit me, or they're my social security number's on there and all this and that. So what's the solution to that problem? You always want to work the problem. The solution would be, hey, we have one locked drop box with 2 keys. We give one to Ms. Garza and one to myself. And the veteran, so example would be the way I was processing it in my mind was, so we're having the an event for veterans on Veterans Day at the Legion at Playmore. Am I right? At Playmore, you're having one, Chairman?
I believe my son is secretary.
Okay,
yes,
so I
yes.
think one at Playmore and then Golden Corral. Obviously, we would have to buy the lock drop box ahead of time, you know. But at the organization or an organization or several of them can sit there and say, okay, we're gonna be at the American Legion between 10 and 12. If you're already coming down here and you're not registered, this is not to join the American Legion, the DAV, or any organizations. It's strictly for registering. You'll drop it in. It'll be locked. And then the only 2 personnels or 2 government offices that can pick it up would be my office, the Webb County Veteran Service Office, or the Vet Center. And we don't have to wait for an event or for anything like for a Veterans Day. Any organization can even do it during their meetings, because come to find out, as I was pondering on how to better improve the idea, I started noticing that a lot of members that are members to the American Legion, VFW, DAV, or Laredo Veterans Coalition, whatever organization they might be part of, don't necessarily have their DD-214s registered. Actually, I would probably say a majority of them. They might have it with the club at one point, and then, you know, they tear them up or whatever, shred them, however they dispose of them, or return them back. So even at your meetings that you already have your members, that's a good point, good place to start. My suggestion to add to what we are already doing, the video, the campaigning, and for our veterans.
Yep.
And I'll check with the county on the video, and I don't know, Chief, if you can check with the city, if they can help with the creation. I don't want to commit the county because I don't know if that's something they can do. I mean, I'm pretty sure they can do it. I just don't know if it's within policy, and I don't want to speak out of line on that one. But I'll ask and
Well,
let
we
you
don't
know.
want to break their budget, but you know.
No, it wouldn't break any. It wouldn't be my office. It would be the PIO's office. If it was my office and I had a line item, in a heartbeat, I'd say yes. But I don't have a line item for promotion.
Let me
Unfortunately, I
ask
really
a
don't.
couple of questions, and I commend the organization and the group that put this together, because that's exactly what we need to start with.
Yeah.
One of the criticism that we hear the most is that the inability or how difficult it is to get registered at the VA location. My question is, with this process, how are the veterans that register are gonna get their ID? Is it gonna be still through the veterans, or your
The
offices
ID
will
is
be
a
able
whole
to
nother
issue that?
process. That has nothing to do with registration. The ID is a whole nother vetting process.
Well, how is the VA gonna pick up these numbers?
So, and from my office, I send them to the Houston Regional Office where my headquarters
And
is for
then it's gonna get
benefits.
to Washington.
Yeah, and then
from
from there, they go up to Washington or not North Carolina, or,
One of the problems is that the numbers, the data that is being used to see what kind of assets we need here at the local VA is the numbers that the VA clinic
well,
provides.
yes and no. So if you're talking for medical purposes,
Yes.
the answer, medical,
Yes,
yeah, because if you're not receiving medical services at the VA clinic, then yes, they're not gonna count you.
Right.
The ones they count, the ones that really, really count, so if you want it just for medical, then we're in the wrong place. Then you gotta make sure that they do it there, and then, but even at that, the list for qualified, not everybody qualifies.
and that's part of the problem, because we know that we
But to
have.
bring federal monies, I'm sorry, it's because I'm sorry,
Sure,
Chairman.
go ahead.
To bring the federal monies down, it doesn't have to be there. The federal money comes for benefits, comes for promotion, comes for whatever needs to be earmarked to do it like that. To include even transportation or grants.
For those issues, you're correct, but every time we have a town hall meeting for the VA, from people from Harlingen coming out here, the numbers that they're using is numbers that they're registered at the VA.
Yes.
We all
So the
know,
reason they use those is because the ones coming down are the ones from the VA clinic,
exactly,
Harlingen.
but
That's
those
why
are,
they,
those are the numbers that are being used in Washington, that's the problem.
no, they,
For purposes of the VA.
medical?
Yes, for medical.
Medical,
And that's,
yes.
I mean, most of us, that's what we need is medical.
But there's more
this is a
departments
great idea,
under-
don't get me wrong, I'm not criticizing or going against anything you've done, it's great, it's a great start. But the problem is that they have us down with less than 3,500 veterans.
Yeah.
In Webb County and surrounding areas. And
at
we
the-
all know
for
that that's not
medical
true.
purposes,
Yes.
and that's what I'm saying. So the VA doesn't just, the VA has many departments under it. For example, when you go to the VA clinic, you go to the Department of Veteran Health Administration, that's VHA. When you go to apply for benefits, you go to the VBA, Veterans Benefits Administration. When you go for burial, we have to send that to Arlington National Cemetery, so you go to the NCA Arlington, ANC, you know. So there's many different departments, education, home loans, and all those departments have their own numbers. So if you came for home loans, the numbers are gonna be a lot more. I wouldn't have those numbers, but those numbers are a lot more than the clinics are for medical. So the way it kind of works to get a better idea for everybody's sake is Laredo VA Clinic reports to Harlingen. Harlingen reports to Houston Regional Office. If you go to Audie Murphy, in any VA medical facility in San Antonio, they report straight to Houston Regional Office. So everybody in South Texas from a certain line, I'm gonna say Austin Temple South, reports to Houston.
Correct.
And that's all benefit parts, all areas of the federal VA. If you're past that line to include El Paso, they report to Waco. The state of Texas is Vicent 17, and both of those report there, and then they report to Washington.
Mr. Contreras, Mr. Garza, and everybody else involved in this, I want to commend you on the great work that you've done to get this started. Mr. Lopez, you have something to say?
Yes, sir. For the record, Gabriel Lopez, South Texas, Stuyva. About 8 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, right when Rudy's Barbecue Place on McPherson opened up, we conducted a drive-through a registration in conjunction with the VA. There was a social worker there that went out and helped us. I can't recall her name, but she transferred already. A real nice lady. And she helped us there for about 2 hours, and she had a copier there, and she had everything. And then when she left, we were still there, and she gave us instructions. And when veterans were still coming in to register, it's just register for the VA. She gave us the forms. We filled out the forms, all right? And then the DD-214 attached the DD-214 to the form, and we will ask the veteran, what do you want us to do? You want us to turn it into the VA clinic, or you want us to mail it out? Just for security purpose. And we put them in an envelope, we sealed them up, gave it to the veteran, and said, put a stamp on it and send it off, and it will take some time for you to get back. That's how we did it back then. And I guess it was about 8 years ago, and we had a nice turnout of registration.
Well,
And
I
that's
believe
what
that this venture will prove to be very, very successful. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Anybody else? Yes,
At
sir.
this time, I would like to apologize for being late because I was with David.
Yes,
And
we were in
Oh,
a
so it's
for
his
another
fault.
meeting.
We were at another meeting, getting this set up. We're trying to register all the veterans, not just the ones that are medically qualified. Because there's some qualifications that are for all the veterans that need to register. For our purposes, we're trying to get all of them registered, and later we can explain if they want their VA card, the clinic would be the ones to talk to them.
And more specifically, David Warwick
And that's what-
would be the person to contact to get your VA card, but you're gonna have to qualify that way. There's another card you can get through e-benefits. There's another card you can, VA Choice or Choose or something like that, that you can try to get on va.gov yourself, but you think you have to be registered there. And that has to be done, like, we couldn't do that because they ask security questions like who did you get your car loan with for this car? That would have to be done, and they can do that individually at their house. And all those numbers count for the greater.
Well, we need to make an attempt to start bringing them in
Yeah.
to be more accurate. I'm willing to spearhead the committee or whatever. I'm leery about the timing because we just got the holidays right in front of us already. But at the same time, that means that everybody's gonna be home, so.
But it's gonna take a little time to get the drop boxes, the lock boxes and things like that, so
Yeah.
it's gonna take a little time to get it going, but it's a great idea, great project, and I feel
And it would be a nice feather in our hat for the Laredo Veterans Committee, so,
without a doubt.
because we plan to use that title.
All those in favor of accepting this presentation by Mr. Contreras and Mr. Garza, say aye.
Aye.
All those against? The ayes have it unanimously.
Thank you very
gentlemen,
much.
ladies. Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
I'd like to apologize because I have to go to a funeral. I have to go before.
Mr. Alvarez is excused, he has another pressing engagement or appointment. Next item on the agenda is discussion with possible action to cancel December meeting and any matters incident thereto. This particular item was brought up because of the holidays that are coming in, and I'd like to see if we have any discussion or motion to approve or disapprove.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve, do we have a second? Do we have a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against say no. The ayes have it unanimously. Well, with any other further announcements, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move that we adjourn.
We have a second? We have a first? We have a second, Mr. Lopez. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those against? No? Unanimously? Happy Veterans Day to everybody, and since we might not see each other before the end of the year, happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We wish all of you well. Thank you very much. Make sure that we have any items for the January with the marshal. We got plenty of time to do that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. You all take care.